Gambit back in the day.
Right.
So it was a 1916 win for Complexity over this roster. It was the only map they picked up at the tournament.
Smoke play for Junior to try and get a pick. Won't work out this time. Back 10 having to be picked up by Hobbit. Tech9 in play for Nafany. Those were the two players that had to go down to weaker weapons, and I wonder if we'll see a faster pace here from CLOUD9. Last round, they weren't even able to really set anything up. So they could be hungry to get back into it. All grouped up towards A. Complexity setup is heavily short-focused right here, with JT committed to the angle. Oh, second smoke, but that could have been phased. Hobbit decides he doesn't want to take that risk in case there's a player there. You may have just heard Grim drop down, though. JT having a look at top mid. CLOUD9 still taking their time. I think JT will finally fall back to the site just as the play into top mid comes through.
Well, Grim playing back from pit. Every now and then just checking out towards the balcony, but here they come. Unleashing from the balcony, Grim. With one on towards Hobbit, has done well to hold it. Eventually will be forced out of his position, but the rest of his teammates are standing tall. And CLOUD9 are toppling. Luckily, Shiro begins to rebuild. 2 found, 20 seconds left. Bowman is back as he searches through the apartments. There isn't a lot of time here for Shiro. He has to consider moving towards the side eventually. Oh, spots out Library, but Junior holds his ground and commits to the fight to remove Shiro from the clutch position and put Complexity onto 13 rounds and CLOUD9's money in the bin.
Tight angle like that, always going to favor the AWP. I think you could see Shiro was a little hesitant once he realized the player was there. This is the strong spot that Grim was playing in. Oh, the team damage for Intaz as he got blinded. But yeah, Grim just getting an early kill. This was mainly just a pop flash play from CLOUD9. So once he gets a kill and kind of slows the push a little bit, makes it a lot easier for the rest of Complexity to figure it out. Here's some pace from Nafany through the flames into his death. Hobbit cannot follow through due to the utility. Nafany's aggressive plays not working out in some of the recent rounds. And now the plan B is to come back to A.
Junior holding out towards long. Little shoulder bait, actually pulls a shot away. Junior needs to be careful because Hobbit's pushed up so far. So close. AWP down, fine, looking to recover it. Elsewhere, his teammates have gone down and the site is being conceded towards A. Oh, CLOUD9 have found their way into a position to win this round, Hawker. It did not look like that, but suddenly they found an opening.
Intez is going to try and wrap round, but there's a player coming up to the apartments. He'll hear that, though. He'll know that Floppy's coming. How does Floppy clear this? The answer is he doesn't. It's a free AK.
No, Floppy down and out. 3 versus 2 advantage with the CLOUD9 side. Smoke will trickle down onto the hay bales. Shiro peeks up from Graveyard under a lot of rifle pressure, but his teammates fending off the rest of the opponents. And in the end, JT will fall to a round for CLOUD9 picked up. That should have been a Complexity 14th. That's the kind of round that worries me about this Complexity side, because they haven't got the confidence behind them. They haven't got the track record that allows them to fall back on, okay, all right, we dropped that round, but it's okay. Let's focus up. We've closed games like this against teams of this caliber before. They don't have that. This could be one of those rounds that is the turning point, is the breaking point. They don't have the money going into this next one either, really, here, Complexity Hawker. These are the rounds that scare me when I watch Complexity.
Yeah, and it felt like they either just gave away unnecessary fights there with Grim. I think he was throwing a flash or something, but he just popped his head up from pit. That was an easy pick. And then Junior on long had a couple of opportunities to land his shot. And at this level, you just have to hit those, or you have to make sure you at least don't give up the AWP. There was no utility from CLOUD9. The main way in was waiting for fights to come to them. Complexity ended up giving away the duels, and look at how costly that round loss is. Complexity's buy, not ideal. Couple of rifles in play. Junior and Fang able to pick up the premiums. Floppy stuck with a FAMAS. Now if you lose this, CLOUD9 are right back in the game. Complexity have got to keep their heads in this one. Good molly onto Banana will force Axar back. 3B stack early from the CT side, looking to contest Banana. Exile's been able to get past the nades. In fact, his nade could do some good damage. Taking the brunt of it.
Yeah, it really is. But it's looking to be an early fight here for Axel. But I don't know if Axel's going to come out on top of this. Just with the sheer number of players on the other side of this corner. Oh, he's going to go around and instantly get shredded. As you would expect, you know, you see the amount of players around that corner, you're just not really going to feel that. But that's information to Cloud9 that there's so many players stacked towards B early, which means there has to be a weakness towards A. And so they start to accelerate towards this side of the map.
He's got up long, so he'll try and cut off that rotate, but Junior's still in position. T-side smoke down, but that's actually allowing Complexity to get onto the site and reinforce it. JT in position. Shiro's holding to see what he can do, but it's Fang to line them up, and Complexity fire right back.
That's such an important round for Complexity to find, because we just mentioned how that round previous can be so scary for them, right? That's the kind of round in the past that can break this Complexity team down, but the fact that they come back into it, they come back swinging right away in this follow-up. They had some weaknesses here. They didn't have the best of guns. Even had an opening towards this A side, but it was held off. The utility was good enough to slow it down and put Cloud9 in positions where they just got picked apart. And fine, what a fantastic game he is having today. This is great to see from Complexity, some life in them. This is a roster that have been the walking dead for so long. It's been a while since we felt positive about them, but this might just be one of the most convincing map wins we've seen them have in their history with this roster.
Floppy decides to fall back from sandbags. They've got the man advantage. Can be a little more confident playing further back. Bai is still out from Cloud9. They will look to slowly work this Banana control. The flash last round on Banana was maybe a little too obvious, so this time they just go with a couple of players dry peeking into position. It's a really passive setup right now from Complexity. Maybe they were expecting to hear a flash if Cloud9 retook Banana control, but that's not happened. Now Cloud9 could set up a quick pop play with a couple of smokes, and that could be really effective.
Well, here it comes. That quick pop play you mentioned is immediate. It is already charging towards Floppy at the back of the site. Look at this from JT. Decides to take a bit more of a risk, and nearly sets up Nafany for the double, but Floppy, 1 HP. Survives to fight for just a second longer. Did the molly actually hit Floppy?
I think so.
Oh, he just got choked by a glass bottle. That is ridiculous. Junior left in the 1 versus 2. It's still a winnable round because the bomb hasn't been planted yet, and Junior has now separated them into the 1v1s. He's taken significant damage down to 34, but he picks up the big green. The weapon he is very comfortable with wielding, and a chance for Junior, but unable to capitalize upon the first attempt. Bomb is committed to immediately for Hobbit. He slinks his way towards the back of New Box. Such a strong position now ascertained by Hobbit, and the swing out to close it. Denies Junior his clutch and denies Complexity map point.
So sharp from Hobbit. That was seemingly an instant headshot coming in from him. This is turning into a bit of a brawl between these two, back and forth in the recent rounds. As you can see at the top there, Complexity are the ones who will be a little frustrated off the back of that round, though.
Yeah, and I think Complexity is starting to realize now, Hawker, that this is not going to be easy to finish. This will be a battle right up till the bitter end. This is still heartbreak territory for Complexity on this map. Cloud9, you can never count them out of this situation. Yeah, I think it's been a very slow start for Cloud9 coming into this competition. The Kings of Online, but they're slow to arrive. We'll see if this is a little bit too late or if there's still enough in them to get this one over.
Still waiting to see some of the star numbers from Axile that we saw at Dallas. He was fantastic throughout that event. I'm sure he'll warm up into this one.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see it eventually in the series, right? Yeah, good to see Axel get back.
This is an A stack from Complexity and a B take from Cloud9.
What does that mean, Hawker?
It means see you later to this round.
ABC.
Like I did there, the ABC, yeah.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3.
I tried something. There you go. There you go. Shiro's coming back. Wants some kills. He's already up to 23.
Well, here we go, Shiro. Easy. You love the softened up opponents, the nice squishy targets. all taken down. 11 rounds now for Cloud9. And we were waiting for this moment. Complexity to get back to the buy, the AWP, the M4s coming out.
A couple of A4s for Complexity.
Yeah, good to see a little bit of variety these days. Variety
Makes
after
sense to
all
me
is
with,
the spice of life.
Yeah, makes sense to me that Grim would be someone who would pick up that A4. Sort of an anchor player a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Past.
Also was very solid with the A4 back when it was used.
Yeah. Absolutely. More standard setup from Complexity in this one. Cloud9 happy to go straight up banana early. And will be heard by Complexity, but Axel is hungry right now. He wants blood. He wants action. Smoke into CT. JT replies with one of his own. Cloud9 will just take a little bit of time now. They've baited out some utility. They've got some map control. No need to force the issue any further.
It would be interesting to see the dynamic established that you would have one M4 and one A1S on each side. Like one A4, one A1S on each bomb side. So one for like spamming smokes, the other more strong for multi-kill. That could be a cool dynamic you could see pan out.
Definitely some potential there. This stack from Complexity into top mid. Junior pretty committed with the AWP. There's not much utility left for Cloud9 though. They use loads on the early banana take. So I don't mind this from Complexity. You know they've used a lot of utility on the T side. You can sit back a little more comfortably. Smoke goes up to long, 35 seconds. Cloud9 will start to move up, but they can't really wrap A with that. They might just have to take CT and try and split this B site.
Well, Axel's gonna catch a couple of players looking the wrong way. Axel doubles up. Floppy and JT knocked out. And it's now Grim and Junior left at the 18-second mark to try and pull their way back into this. But Shiro makes sure that that's not going to be happening. Bomb starts to go down. Locked in on that B site. Grim up towards the apartments today. And as you pointed out, he is an anchor player. Cloud9 should realize that. And realize he's likely on the other side of the map. So no problems coming their way. And that will be another round for Cloud9, who are really starting to get into the rhythm now. Complexity's money will start to be very difficult to recuperate at this point. Yeah, they'll start to get that loss bonus in eventually, but in the next round's not looking pretty. It's going to be a 2.5k average. Obviously isn't enough to get a good buy into this, so we're staring down the barrel of a 13-14 scoreline, and Cloud9 continuing to build their way back into this game.
This is tough, because it was the right decision. It was the right idea from Complexity. They realized, okay, we've lost long. We hear a lot of players there. This is probably going to be a B split with that smoke up towards long. So we're going to try and take banana control. And if you have banana control there as the CTs, you're in a pretty good position. There's not much utility for Cloud9. You could use banana. You can just try and stall them getting to the site. You can buy maybe a bit of time for your other players to rotate over. And you could have a pretty solid retake setup because the Ts wouldn't be able to play the post plant that easily without banana control, but they just never clear the angle. And Axel makes them pay. We were just talking about him maybe warming up into this series. That was a very nice 2K, quickly transferred. Basically won them the round right there and then. For Complexity, it is the pain of having to play with pistols again. And some nades, I guess. Nade stack on banana could actually be nice if they get the right timing on this.
Soften them up, but the nades go a little too deep to be too effective. Junior swings around the corner. It is one from his pistol found towards Nafni. The rest of Complexity should be getting shredded to the rifles, and Shiro unleashed to do so. Elsewhere, Hobbit brings Grim to his feet. Or to his knees, rather. And now JT's left in a 1 versus 4. So USP in hand, no problem here, wrapping him up. He's in the library, reading a little bit, but I think eventually he'll be taken away. And 14-13 will ring out on the scoreboard. Fun Complexity, I start to sweat a little bit now.
Cloud9, I feel, are really overthinking this. Like, I get that you want to make 100% sure you win this round. But they've just thrown a smoke on B. They've kind of faked it. Now they're going to come A with the bomb.
Although when
Really
you do
taking
hit
their
tab
time.
and you see JTs against you with a pistol, it does strike fear into the hearts of every player.
Maybe.
You don't mess with JT.
Hobbit, clear that site. Get that bomb
There we
down.
go.
Yeah,
He's
don't
not
plant
in
on
the
that
corner.
side.
It's clear.
Yep. Now you can save and pit much more easily. You don't have to be as concerned about that extra bomb damage.
Why are we having to
this is-
watch this actually pan out? It's ridiculous.
I guess it's a nice chance for JT to just talk to his team.
Hey guys,
Because I feel like Complexity are the ones
We're
who
about to
need
choke this.
breathing room. Oh boy.
please don't let us choke this. Not again. And JT dead. Shiro with a headshot
30.
and a big dirty 30 for Shiro. 21 for Nathany as well. 3 rounds away here from CLOUD9, taking the victory and destroying Complexity's hopes and dreams. Is there any hopes and dreams left for Complexity? Find out in the next 3 rounds.
They should be able to get at least something in this round. Their money looked a little short, but I think they've got a big losing bonus, so they are fine. Wow, more M4A4s than M4A1Ss. Great to see some adaptation coming through from the players so quickly.
Love drops.
Meanwhile, for Cloud9, Shiro's got that all. Oh, aggressive banana controls being taken, but Cloud9 are in a position where they could quickly pounce on that A site if they think it's a heavy B stack here.
They come popping out through Boiler.
I think now they've got to go back and get banana control. Cloud9 have left this a little too long. They know they lost banana earlier. They've got top mid. They need to at least pressure that other side of the map. Otherwise, this crossfire is pretty decent for Cole right now. Although that smoke will isolate JT.
JT under good bit of pressure. Actually, Nathany's going to swing and immediately rip him apart inside of the arches. 45 seconds left. Cloud9 maintain the advantage position. But they need to get towards the site eventually. Floppy's moved down through Banana, so that fallback plan for Cloud9 doesn't really look like they want to use it right now anyway, but it is going to be a little more difficult to go running back up through Banana. They are so wrapped around this A site. They have to go eventually. There's only a couple of seconds left to make this happen. 20 left on the clock right now. This could get messy. But finally the move that they waited for has come through. Junior's given up his life. Grim and Find the holding strong, and this is fantastic for Complexity. That is a rock-hard hold inside of the site. And 15 now emblazoned on the scoreboard for the Star side.
Complexity able to just lock it down between those two players. This is what I was talking about when I was saying I thought we'd see Cloud9 go back to clear B, because Complexity are just sitting, waiting and saying, we know you're coming A. We know you're coming eventually. They wait, they wait. The utility's not really good enough for Cloud9. One flash, I think, was attempted, but it didn't blind those players. They're able to just hold it down. A lineup comes in from the site itself, and now look at this confidence. Push down mid.
This is great. You love to see this from Find, but you do not love to see that. He's been caught by Axel, and nearly the AWP going down there as well. Oh, 17 HP left on Junior. That could have been a real disaster for both teams, really. Cloud9 included in that, but it has worked out very well for the Cloud9 side here.
Oh, it's tough jumping around that corner. I feel like you just can't afford to jump there, because that's when you get exposed to banana, is when you jump over that little ledge. Real shame for Fang early. Now this gamble might be going against Complexity. Grim is completely alone. I guess this is where you like having the A4 to try and get a massive multi-kill, but I don't know what his chances are. Oh, they're 0.
Oh, good pick. Cloud9 up into the 2-player advantage. And Complexity realized, nice little save call. It's comfortable on the B site. You don't have to fight. You save those weapons on over. That means Complexity will have to try and play for victory using all 30 rounds. Every round of regulation must be used between these two teams to decide who the victor will be, and maybe even more if Complexity can take this, or Cloud9 rather, can take this all the way to overtime.
Oh my
Are
god.
they going to boost into Junior's position? Oh, they're going to run boost over the top. Just trying to pit out the shot. Junior had repositioned at the time, but if he goes back, and look at this, they have to use utility to try and keep them away here, Hawk. And this could be an absolute nightmare for Complexity. Should be fine, though, with that smoke going up.
I mean, you might as well hug. You've got the money for the last round. Might as well take the risk. Cloud9 decide it's too unlikely, though. So they let Complexity save a couple of guns, but Complexity needs something now. If this goes to overtime, I think Cloud9 will be pretty comfortable getting into that position, considering the scenario they found themselves in. See what Complexity can come through with. They took a risk in that round. They took some aggression down mid. I wouldn't expect to see that now. Take the risk, it doesn't pay off. Now you probably sit back and you say, Cloud9, you're the ones that have to make the initial moves. You're the ones that have to prove you can get this round win to take it to OT. Buy is still solid for Complexity. Those save guns really helping them out here. Just the one FAMAS in play for Fang. And wow, Complexity just took a timeout. Now Cloud9 take a timeout right back.
Looking to potentially figure out what they've likely talked about within their timeout. The Complexity side, some of the weaknesses that Complexity have had potentially. Anthony having his side. Try and get them into this one again. Overtime.
It also just makes Complexity sit in this scenario they find themselves in, right? Like, Complexity probably don't have much to say at this point. They've just done their talking. Now you've just got to sit here. You've probably called what you want in the round, and you have to think about the scenario you're in and how important this map win could be for you.
Should be monumental for Cloud9. Or rather, sorry, Complexity. If they could take this and put them into a position they haven't been in a long, long time, if ever, with this team. Here it is, round 30. Every round of regulation needed. Either we go again and we get the bonus rounds, or Complexity will take their first map.
This is such a switch up from Complexity. It's an all-in apartment stack over on A. They have all three players stacked in the apartments, waiting to see if they can bait Cloud9 players in. Cloud9 look like they want to take that apps control.
Hobbit to bring Grim down. Cloud9 to have the 4v4, but it's followed up for Complexity and put into the advantageous position. Although Cloud9 has spotted a gap, a chance to move up through middle. They realize that, and Junior tries to plug the gap, but Bunny hops around the corner right to his death. That looks a little bit silly, and that kill has gone the way of Cloud9. You cannot afford to give away kills like that to a team of Cloud9's caliber. Now put pressure, more pressure on the hands of Fang to try and step up, and he can't get a kill. It's starting to crumble here for Complexity. Visions of Inferno victories have just gone up in fire. It is now JT and Floppy to try and pull off the 2v3, and it has to be a retake versus the Cloud9 threesome.
Some utility, but there's still utility for Cloud9 too. They still have a molly, they still have this smoke in top mid. Finally it fades. Complexity trying to see if they can come in through the apartments, but the time is ticking. They've got to get a move on.
Molotov to force Nafny to reposition, but all it does is sends him into a position where he doubles up, and C9 will pull it all